Hello, I'm Captain Alexander at Fairchild Air Force Base. I arrived here at Fairchild in September of last year. Got put in the pediatric clinic, which I'm somewhat used to. I was at Pediatrics at Wright-Patt before here, and I quite like pediatrics. When I came here, I was under the impression that this MTF was going to be the cutting edge of clinical care. In many ways, it is. I knew that Genesis had already been launched, and I was certain that this was going to make life easier. It was going to be more efficient in the clinics, and we were going to be more effective for our patients. What I ran into, however, was an MTF that was facing what seemed like an insurmountable number of challenges. The new EHR, as amazing as it is, also is very difficult to understand for people who are in the Alta CHCS mindset. We didn't quite know how to use it the way it was intended. We're still learning that process. We had a number of glitches in the system, as is the case when anything rolls out new. And it had, or still has, perhaps an imperfect associated training program. There were some serious concerns with patient safety and workflow processes, and so we made the determination that we needed to slow down. And when we slow down, that means access. We had access problems, and we still do. So within a week of my getting here, Captain McGurry, or Dr. McGurry, sent me a text message after watching the reset video and said, we got to do this. And so we hit the ground running. We did a TOES, or a SWOT analysis. Identified a number of areas where we had strengths and opportunities. We knew that our EHR had untapped potential, and we just needed to figure out how to use it. So we explored that, and how do you do the continuous scrubbing that Colonel Fletcher and Major Lutz had developed at the Reset and Ramstein. Our takeaway from the whole thing is that Genesis is better for it. It's better than CHCS and Alta for scrubbing. And we've developed a kind of an amendment to the ConOps that they developed already, and kind of seeking their approval on it, which they've given us kind of a tentative thumbs up, and we're excited about that. We want this to roll out for the rest of the DoD if possible, to make everyone's lives a little bit better. There was a question of timing. A number of IOC sites have already said that they're a little bit apprehensive about rolling out this the Reset at the same time of rolling out Genesis. We have actually found that the opposite is true. We couldn't think of a better time. We knew that we had an opportunity to develop a workflow and a process that could affect the entire DoD going forward. Further, we're still in closer contact with Cerner than anyone else, and so figuring out how to make the system work best for Reset is never going to be more opportune than it is now. So in the end, after 2 months, we started in, I want to say late December. We didn't really. January 1st or January 2nd is when we really started to do our, we'll call it Reset, here at Fairchild. After 2 months, Dr. McGurry running it. We had third next available down from 19, or from 19 to 2. Our third next available appointment from 19 to 2. And the number of available futures after 1 week went from 0 to 23, which is incredible. The other pediatric provider, Dr. White, who was not doing the test run that Dr. McGurry was doing, did not have the same number. His numbers stayed pretty much stagnant, with the exception of his third next available. Went from 17.8 to 9, I believe, and much of that is due to the fact that Dr. McGurry took on a lot of his work. And I shouldn't say a lot of his work. He helped out because, frankly, we had by the time mid-February came, we had scrubbed so much that we had nothing left to do. We not only caught our tail, we were way ahead. So we were begging people to come in almost. We were trying to find sick people to see. Because we've taken care of so many of these patients. So we've actually expanded Dr. McGurry's empanelment. We've taken people from Family Health who have a big access problem right now, kids from Family Health, and we've taken them and added them to Dr. McGurry's. And again, we've gone to Dr. White and assisted him in trying to get through some of his more difficult days. Dr. White will shortly be changing over to Reset, and we're going to have a big celebration over the last few months of our accomplishments here, celebrating the team for all the efforts that they put forward, the technicians, the nurses, the docs, everyone, and how much work they put into making this work for us and for our patients. And then we're also going to be celebrating Dr. White taking it on and moving forward. So also I want to say throughout our MTF, in the first month of running our new workflow, no provider in this entire MTF has seen more patients than Dr. McGeary, and yet no one has near the access as Dr. McGeary. So this is a little bit of our success. I also want to say that Reset has spurred us to look into other areas of improvement and efficiencies. We changed our entire format. We now sit in offices as teams, perhaps something we should have done earlier, but it spurred this movement. We now have techs and providers check in patients together. Makes us streamline this process much faster, and we have all laptops on WOWs. Everyone is now in Pediatrics is now on a wireless system. So 90% to 95% of charting is done in the room before the patient leaves, and the patients are only in the room 10-15 minutes max. So we're efficient, and we're here at Fairchild. We're screaming the praises of Reset, and if you're here and you have a kid, we can see you today.